Hello and welcome to this special internet version of the match. Today we'll be looking ahead to the second leg of the Copa del Rey last 32 tie against Olímpic de Xàtiva. Here in the studio with me as ever is Sid Lowe. Thank you very much for coming in today.
My pleasure.
Now Real Madrid host a third-tier side at the Bernabeu. They've been in devastating form at home of late. Will it be enough to see them through to the next round?
Almost certainly. I mean, it's true that Olímpic de Xàtiva have done the most important thing, which was to make sure that the second leg was still alive from their point of view with a 0-0 draw at home. Of course, it's also true that an away goal would perhaps change the complexion of the tie a little bit, in that it would force Real Madrid to outscore them, not just to equal their number of goals, because otherwise Olímpic would be the side that went through. But I think the Real Madrid, even without a couple of key players, Bale and Ronaldo, both won't be playing. There's no doubt that they have more than enough firepower to see off a team from the second Division B, which of course is the nature of the Copa del Rey. The second leg at home, effectively starting from 0-0, Madrid are very, very, very clear favourites.
And let's just briefly touch on that first leg. It ended goalless. How surprising was that?
It was a surprise on one level, in so much as when you look at it in very basic terms of a first division side, and the biggest first division side there is, when you look at it as in terms of a club with a budget of 500 million euros against a second Division B team, you expect Real Madrid to go there and win very comfortably. But there are a number of factors which I think help to explain the fact that they didn't. One is the very simple fact that Olímpic defensively are a very strong side. I think an AstroTurf pitch, while it's not an excuse, does of course have an impact. It is a conditioning factor. I think the other conditioning factor is very clearly the existence of a second leg, that Real Madrid went there knowing that a 0-0 draw, while it wasn't what they wanted and while they would have expected to go there and perhaps put the whole thing to bed straight away, they always knew there was another leg to come back to. So there was no desperation, no need to necessarily go absolutely crazy to go and win the game. So I think those factors help to explain that it's 0-0 going into the second leg.
Now, from training today, we understood that there are two more players out through injury, Ramos and Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale picked up a knock to his left calf, I think it was, and Ramos has a bit of discomfort in his back. Is this an opportunity, and of course Cristiano Ronaldo also won't be playing because of suspension, is this an opportunity for the attacking players to step up?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, as you mentioned, Ramos is out. That means, of course, that Nacho will play. Ramos, we're not sure yet whether he'll be fit for the game against Valencia at the weekend. Gareth Bale with that knock on his left calf. Carlo Ancelotti has said he will play, or unless anything strange happens between now and then, he will play against Valencia at Mestalla at the weekend. But it does mean that in his absence, of course, Angel Di Maria will get an opportunity. I think in the absence of Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema, because Ancelotti has named his starting 11, which is the one that we see on the screen now, means that front three of Di Maria, Morata and Jesse is pretty much guaranteed, and Ancelotti has confirmed it. I think it is an opportunity. That's the best way of looking at it from the point of view, particularly from the point of view of Morata and Jesse. Perhaps slightly less for Angel Di Maria, who of course is an experienced first-team player and has been at Real Madrid for long enough to, if you like, not feel the need necessarily to take advantage of every opportunity he's given. But I think for Jesse and Morata, this is very significant. And I think they're two players, in particular Jesse, who won't be overawed by the occasion. The other changes, of course, are in midfield, where Ancelotti has admitted that he would like to protect Xabi Alonso. So we'll see Casemiro and Iyala in the middle of midfield.
Well, Carlo Ancelotti confirmed his starting 11 pretty much earlier in the press conference, straight after Real Madrid's final training session. Let's hear what else he had to say.
I think that the first game against Xàtiva, we found a good team. We found they defended really well. I think that they will try to do the same tomorrow, to defend well, to do the best. Of course, their motivation will be at the maximum. We know this. I think that we have to play quick to will be able to win this game.
Ancelotti there saying just how strong Xàtiva are in defence. They've gone 9 games, in fact, without conceding a goal. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, it is indeed. And listening to the goalkeeper talk about it, Francis, he's talked a lot about the significance of the players around. And now, of course, goalkeepers, I think both modesty and making sure your teammates are happy dictates that you have to talk about all of your team. But it's true in that a team that has a defensive record this good is never based on just the goalkeeper. It's the goalkeeper that people perhaps talk about, but it tells you something about the way they're organised. The four at the back are very, very rigid. The two just in front of them will protect them, and they will try and make life as difficult as they possibly can for Real Madrid. I think we saw in the first leg that they're a very strong side defensively, not just because it finished 0-0, which of course is the obvious standout statistic, but the other statistic which for me was even more telling in a way was that the shots on target count at the end of the game read only 2-0 to Real Madrid. Now Madrid would have expected far more shots on target than that. Now, as I say, partly conditioned by the nature of the tie, but also conditioned by the fact that Xàtiva are actually genuinely very good at the back.
And of course, not forgetting what a party atmosphere it was in that first leg. The beauty of the Cup is that a third-tier team can play one of the big boys at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Yeah, absolutely. And what happened was that during a period in which some of the bigger teams were getting knocked out, there was a desire from the organisers of the Copa del Rey, the Spanish Football Federation, to try and protect the big teams, to make sure they went further in the competition. But at the same time, that you can't just say, right, well, we're going to make it easier for the big teams and make it two-legged. They had to convince the smaller teams that it was worthwhile. And one of the ways to do that was say, well, if you go two-legged, you guaranteed to get a team like Real Madrid come to your stadium. So you're going to fill your own stadium for those nights. But not only that, but you're also going to get the chance to go and play at the Bernabeu or at the Camp Nou or at the Calderón, but in particular at the Bernabeu for Xàtiva players, a big chunk of whom are Real Madrid fans. And so I think that's the sense of occasion that makes it special. And for those players and for those fans, it genuinely is special. It's very easy for us from a distance to be cynical about it, but it is special. One thing that has perhaps changed with that format is that it becomes more about the event than the result, if you see what I mean. In that Xàtiva don't go into this, I mean, obviously they go into this dreaming of knocking out Real Madrid, but they don't go into this with that kind of determination to do it, more with a determination just to enjoy the occasion.
Well, hopefully they won't get stage fright tomorrow, or hopefully they will, Sid. Thank you very much for joining us today. Phil's back on Friday with a look ahead at Real Madrid's final league game of 2013 away to Valencia. Until next time, adios.